pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a full vote today. Everybody here? Thank you for being here. Jeremy, have you got some report you want to do?
I sent the report to Augie, so I assume you guys have that, so.
We do, but I didn't know whether you had anything to add.
Nope, I mean, December, a little bit slower, last few months have been, but that's okay, it'll take up eventually, so. For the year, I think it was 853, around the 850 number, so. But things are going relatively smooth, so. There is a first responder class going on in Hume that just started this past week. I know there's gonna be a few go through that and help all the fire departments up there. And that's going to Wade Hale, he's the one teaching that, that's not us.
Is that the one that they found out Friday night?
Yes,
And he's Parkland's instructor?
I believe so, yes. I know he teaches some in Carl as well, but I personally don't know.
Any other questions, Jeremy? Yes, ma'am.
I do. So what are your thoughts on the new state law regarding Pleasant Meadows and the ability to charge for lifts?
My thoughts is they won't pay it even if you send them a bill, so. But that is specifically, I think, for fire departments. I don't think that'll affect us. And quite honestly, we usually don't go out there for lift assist. I think I've done it once in the last 5 years.
Okay.
Usually if we go out there, it's to pick them up and then take them to the hospital, so. So at least from the Pleasant Meadows aspect. Now, personal residence, that's been a different story. We have people out there that we have to go help occasionally, so. But yeah, Pleasant Meadows, I don't think that's gonna really be a factor for us.
Okay. Because I know we're taking a look at the contract, and I'm like, well, if there's a way to, okay. Thanks.
I know, Augie, you sent a thing through the mail to me. Is your contract up this year?
Should be.
Is it this summer?
Yes. Yes.
July.
So, I mean, I didn't read through every line item, so I don't know what needs to be done. Does we need to start the process, or?
Yes, that's why I had Augie send it out to you all.
Okay, so what is the process,
Well,
I guess?
we need to inform him that we intend to put it out to bid again.
Okay.
Soon that's what we're gonna do. And then we need to get a committee together to take a look at the current contract, make sure that it's meeting the needs
Okay.
as the board and the community and Jeremy sees fit. Have the state's attorney review it, then put it out for bids, and then go from there.
When do we need to do that then?
Well, we probably need to get, sorry, go ahead, Carl.
I mean, like, I assume it's 6 months from now, this summer sometime, I don't remember the date.
We don't wanna wait till the
Right,
last minute. So
exactly.
it probably should be culminated by the end of March. I would think we should be ready to bid it in April. And then, do you have any thought? Oh, you can't discuss it, never mind. Looking at you.
And I'm looking back.
I finally figured it out. I knew you didn't have that,
Yeah.
anyway. So, we need to move on it fairly
Okay.
quickly.
All right. Well, I just didn't want to,
We need to-
sometimes we wait too long and have to rush through everything.
Well, we need to send to Jeremy. The
Okay.
board needs to decide whether we in fact are gonna bid.
Okay,
I'm sure he wants to take a look at his expenses and we'll bid what he thinks is appropriate and we'll go from there,
okay.
right? So,
Yeah, we definitely all need to understand that whole process and the timeline.
Do you recall when the date is?
I think
26th.
July?
I think it was June.
Unknown
that-
caller.
Because I can't remember the exact
June
process,
26th.
but it was July 15th is when we actually started.
Yeah. But we need to wrap it up probably 30 days before it starts. And that way everybody knows what's gonna happen. Okay? Do you have any comments about that, Jeremy? any other board members have questions, so who feels like they have a little extra time to start putting that together?
Define.
Well, we need to take the current contract, we need to discuss what, is it doing everything that we want it to do right now? Is it doing what it's supposed to be doing, right? Am I not defining that correctly? In other words, we got enough ambulances, do we have, is the time that's used and provided for within the contract correct? Response, okay? We'll think about it and we'll,
Do you need that?
Because logically, it would be you or me.
Thursday, Wednesday?
all right, well,
I just wondered if there's, I mean, I didn't read everything in the contract, but if there's some things that needs to be added, you know, services, you know, I don't know what it would be, but maybe there's some things that you've experienced in, 5 years now almost, that maybe isn't addressed in there, that needs to be addressed from your perspective, maybe.
I think he needs to be part of the discussion.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if you would jot down some notes and we'll all get together, I mean, it's up to the board to finalize what they want to see in the contract.
Right.
But the board would certainly take into consideration any suggestions or any of your experiences that would make it a better contract.
Sure.
Okay? All right. And Lisa and I'll figure this out. I mean,
Yeah.
not on our own, I mean,
Right.
we'll
Yeah.
collectively bring you something. Russ, is that something you're interested in?
Work on that.
Okay, that would be good. All right. Philip, do you have anything today?
Nothing from the state's attorney's office.
Augie?
The only thing that I have is on the agenda, where every 2 years, the board approves the polling places that are going to be used.
Right.
And so there is a list in there, and it's got the, everything's updated. Polling places with the precincts. And we're in the process of mailing out letters to all the voters,
All the changes
all the changes, yeah. We
that
ran out,
are effective.
we ran out of envelopes, so we had to do a quick rush order, so hopefully we'll finish that up by the end of this week. And then everyone's gonna get a new voter ID card. Liberty's gonna mail those out for us, so. Should be a short meeting, Lindsay.
I have, just for my knowledge and understanding, when a township is divided, like Ross and Sims, what's your factor, or Young America? What determines if and when a township gets divided?
Population.
So,
So years ago, before my tenure, Young America, Ross was divided. At the time that I came in to office, if the size of the precinct exceeded 800, then you had to vote, you cut it in half, divide it in half. And so that's what my experience has been down at Sims, because they were, I don't know, 830, maybe 35 people.
just enough that you had to do it.
Just enough that I had to do it,
Official.
and they voted the same place, so
Yeah,
but I think the state has laxed a little bit in that, because over the years, there's some interest in vote centers, where you would be able, wherever you live in the county, you could go and vote at a vote center. So,
but as long as you have one person in your township, it stays a separate township.
Well, yeah, yeah.
What did you just say about vote centers?
Well, vote center, a true vote center, we've used the term kind of loose, but a true vote center is, so say for example that we use, well, we're gonna use Lake Ridge, so let's use them as an example. So if you are on your way home from way up north, and the polls are getting ready to close at 5 to 7, you could roll into Lake Ridge at a vote center and you could vote your ballot. So everything has to be connected to the internet.
I was gonna say, that sounds to me like in some places couldn't end up, there's a reason they wanna do that.
That's the reason why I'm not gonna do it on my tenure.
Okay, good.
Because then I can look at anybody straight in the eye and say, you're not hacking me because I'm not hooked to the internet.
Yeah.
Now, I get the convenience of it, but does it happen? Listen, in the last 15 years, I probably have received 2 phone calls that they said, I got off work late and I can't get to my precinct and you mean to tell me you're not gonna let me vote? And I said, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that, but I will tell you, you've had 39 days to vote.
Could come in and vote.
You could easily come in, early voted, vote by mail.
So they come through the phone then, have you?
They come through the phone. Now, it's only been a couple people, but by and large, it doesn't happen. But that's the theory behind it. You typically, you see it in larger cities.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, and there's more resources, people, money, just more resources, and it has its pros and cons, in my opinion. Did that help you?
Thank you. Any other questions? Andrew?
I don't think I have anything today.
Dan?
Yeah, we had an animal meeting today. You have a handout that Andrew gave us, and I looked it over. Bottom first page is a summary from last year. What says Winter Rescue, she has a couple that come down Chicago. They have a daughter of somebody that works and lives in Paris, so they will take back some dogs when they go. And that's where some of the rescue dogs go back to. She does have 52 in the shelter right now, and she kind of limits on space because she says she has a couple pit bulls that are very vicious, and they have to take up more room than normal. So she's a little limited on the space of the dogs she has. But somebody asked her if they're in the area where it's warm, but all of them are not warm cages, but they're all got walls and so forth and blankets, so really they're not that cold. So she does take good care of them. Any questions on the summary? I don't know if you know, I'm quarantined for bites. The only time you have to quarantine if the animals or dogs do not have the rabies shots. So she only has 8 that are quarantined for the year. And I think they have to be quarantined for 10 days if they don't have their shots. Second page are some things she wants done for this year. She's got a sponsor to make a sign put out front, and the sponsor's gonna pay for it, so she hasn't decided on what they want on the sign yet, but it won't cost us anything. So she didn't mention who was gonna do it, but somebody's gonna do it. She wants to put a fence between the old shelter and the ESDA building where she can walk the animals back and forth. Right now, there's no fence that separates the 2 shelters, so she's gonna get a estimate on that. It'll come out of donations, so it really won't cost the county anything. Number 3, she wants to start a spay and neuter clinic in the new building. She's applied for a grant to get the equipment. Problem is, she doesn't have anybody come in and do it, so I think somebody from U of I was supposed to come down or send somebody down, but that hasn't happened yet, but she hopes somebody will. But she will have all the equipment and have the room for the spay and neuter place. And that's about it. She was on Channel 3 last week. I don't know if you saw it or not. She had a big brown dog with a blue handkerchief on it. I asked if somebody had adopted, said no, nobody had adopted yet, but it seemed like a really tame dog, you see it?
Mhm,
No,
yeah.
really tame dog, but, she gets on there about once a month, I think, and tries to adopt somebody, but she does have a adoption clinic or whatever coming up, the 24th of this month at the Rural King. They're supposed to give her about 3 pallets of food, so that's gonna really help also, but have you ever been to a new place out there? Have you ever been in there? What you done with it? She has one room, that's probably half the size, it's full of donations, everything you think of, blankets, pillows, food. So she gets a lot of donations out there, so everything's going fine, so, yep. Any questions? Okay.
Russ,
I don't have anything.
you talk about the airport for a minute. Russ and I are gonna get together tomorrow and take a look at a project that's coming up in the next year or so. It has to do with the current apron and whether we're gonna come over with an overlay after draining it, or whether we're gonna pick it up and use bit asphalt and or concrete. Just gonna have to take a look at it. Price is gonna be a big consideration, because one is a lot more than the other, but we'll take a look at that tomorrow. We've set up a schedule where we're gonna start having regular meetings out there, so we'll let you know what that schedule is when we have it, but that's what we're intending to do, so.
Is that where you had the water issues? Remember they had water that was pumping up through the,
Oh, that's all good.
that's not the
That's all-
same thing,
no,
okay.
no. This is apron, not runway.
Okay.
We're all good on the runway. They are gonna run a test on the new, navigation system. You're gonna love this. It costs us $18,000 for the FAA to come out and do it, and they won't turn it on until they do it. And then they send us the $18,000 back. So, yeah, at any rate, just thought you'd get a kick out of that.
So
Yes.
will that apron money, is that gonna come out of our pockets, or will that be some FAA money?
Normally, it depends on the project, but normally anywhere from 90 to 95% comes out of the FAA / the state of Illinois Aeronautics. Depends on what kind of project it is. We could wind up with 2.5% or 5%, depending on what goes on. But still can be a substantial amount of money. The money that we use to fund our share comes from the aviation fund and what we earn from that, the rental from the airport facilities, and then also the farm ground. So between those three sources of income, we're able to fund these particular projects. So one of the things we have to look to is where we're at on our cash flow through the year and through the years, to make sure that we have enough money at the time to do what we're talking about doing.
This is sort of on that same topic, on the farm ground. Is it in good shape? Is there any tile that needs to be done, or are we able to use the income from it pretty much solely for the
We have
airport?
helped by reducing the leases at times for paying for our share of the tile,
Okay.
okay?
Rather
So
than
we-
having to spend money, we just
Right,
change the
we
contract?
just do it that way.
Gotcha.
We also have a fourth income that we hadn't realized until about 2 years ago, is that we get a return of fuel tax money that we sell. This year, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it does to me, $16,600, which you add up with everything else, makes a difference on what we're able to do a year.
Our tax portion was 60, not how much we sold.
But it's based on how much we sell, we get refunded the state sales tax.
Okay, so we got refunded 16?
Well, we will,
We will.
yeah, eventually. It sometimes takes us a year to get it, but it's coming. So, what can I say?
Well, this,
Yeah.
I'd like to know the figure of I mean, it's not road use.
No, it's the fuel
Just
tax
sales
that we
tax,
spend.
Sales tax, right, I know, but I mean, there's all different, the fuel for your car, there's all different kinds of state taxes in there.
Well, we only sell the avgas in the, yeah, Jet A, thank you, I couldn't come up. You guys need to help me all I can get. At any rate, but we charge a tax and then that somewhat gets refunded to us. That's our portion of it. And so we're selling more, so we get more. I think the first year we get like 9,000 bucks. Now we're up to anywhere from 18,000 bucks a year. So hopefully that trend will continue. Now, it's not a lot, but when you're only having to pay 2.5 or 5% of the project, makes a difference. Okay? So that's what we got. Lisa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 5:30. All righty. To start with, I had a nice chat with Andy Kite the other night, who, we had tentatively talked about him coming to talk about zoning and the pros and cons and limited zoning, and this had to do, as you might recall, with that conversation about battery storage. And then the next step from battery storage is the big data centers. So, and you might have also read in the emails we get from UCCI that the governor's just happy as can be to have it all, and in his state. And that, when Andy and some others get further along, they will have some ordinances, in some cases updated, in some cases new, because there isn't anyone. But we had talked about having Andy come and talk about zoning and the pros and cons so that we made an informed decision. Because I think most of us are in a mindset of not being zoned, but we need to make sure that we understand and we want to continue that way or not, based upon some of the things coming down the road. So, with that said, he can come, and again, this would be on our bill. He can come on the 26th to our study session. You know, we could do this remotely. I'm feeling like it needs to be face-to-face though, and have a bigger conversation. Or we can wait, but the governor, the law makes it pretty clear on what the difference is on what you can do, or if you can do anything if you're zoned versus unzoned.
Yeah, because what I understand in talking to Chapin is that if you're not zoned, you can't do anything with battery,
Yeah.
period. You can't do a thing.
You can't write an ordinance or anything.
Nope. And I don't know whether do we wanna deal with paying an attorney to tell us about zoning?
What's the reservation?
I mean, what did you go
Well,
for?
once you start zoning, where does it end? You know, as far as, you know, I don't want anything to do with zoning, me personally, but like say, where does it end on how far do you go with your zoning?
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just because you got it zoned, doesn't,
It doesn't keep anybody out. It gives you the
Yeah.
opportunity
It gives you-
to have an ordinance that gives you maybe a little bit
of say-so.
of say-so.
But it opens the door.
You know?
You're talking about on batteries, battery
Or
storage.
anything.
Well, but no, what you're,
Right, I'm talking batteries
yeah,
specifically
but
right
then
now.
can you limit it just
Yes.
for battery storage
You can.
and
You can
not
limit it
zone
to any-
anything
Right, you
else?
can limit it to specifics. But, right, I'm not disagreeing with you that it opens the door. Nobody likes to be free more than I do.
Right.
But I just feel like we need to have a pretty big discussion so that if we say we don't want to be zoned, we fully understand
Mhm.
the
Right.
implication.
Right.
We have,
Even if we were zoned and a landowner signed a contract to put in a battery storage, would we then have to have some sort of ordinance, like we do with wind and solar and the hearings and all the things? Like, does that still have to happen? Or does that tell the landowner, we're zoned and we have an ordinance against such and such? I just am ignorant to this, so I'm just asking.
Because of state law, we can't say no. That's already been removed. But, and a lot of the factors are determined by state law and we don't have any option. But like, emergency services, that was within our ability. And, it gave us a little bit more, leverage to improve our decommissioning agreement. Zoning doesn't give you a whole lot, but if you don't have any, then you don't have, there's no hearing, there's no nothing. It's just whatever goes along with this, they've met the state requirement.
the state has a set of requirements or minimum standards. And, you know, they're,
Yeah.
So I
Right.
guess if we got zoned and was worried about battery storage, we could make rules, but it has to go along with the state guideline. We can't make our own rules. You know, they set the guidelines.
Our ordinance cannot be more firm or more
Right.
restrictive than the state law.
Right.
Right.
the other consideration here is how are we gonna finance all of this? We're already tight. And getting attorneys involved costs money.
Well, and I know Andy had talked, and we talked about it with Phil too, that, and Phil, if you wanted to take this whole thing on, that'd be even better. But what we had also talked about was Andy providing us a start in the guidelines and then turning it over to Phil, because he said he doesn't need the business. So it's not as if the whole process would use them, but it would be to get us started and then he'd turn it over to Phil and then Phil would take it from there.
Now, when we zone, would we have to have a zoning commission then?
Yeah,
And see,
it
that's where it gets
develops
out of
another
hand.
layer.
Yes.
And I don't, and I've already lived with this on the Indiana side. It's not fun, that may be enough to determine that we don't want anything, but I just feel like we need to make an educated decision. And,
I know you're right, okay?
I know,
I'm just trying to figure out where we're gonna
Just-
come up with
and
the
I like to put my
3-4
head in the
grand.
sand, I so would, but the door's open already.
Is the only reason you're zoning is for control over this, or when you say you're zoning for,
No, you are zoned for what you decide you
You
want
wanna
to
zone
be
for.
zoned for.
But if you have the mechanism set up, then another board can build off of that and open this thing up for zoning. That's what I'm afraid of, is that if you've got a zoning board and you've restricted it, things can change rather rapidly.
Of course, the zoning board reports to the county board.
I understand, but
Yeah,
that's what
but
I'm
you're
talking
right.
about is,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we're setting it up for somebody,
If you have a more progressive
right.
board next,
We're
yes.
teeing it up for them to have a much easier time.
Right.
And the next thing you know, the folks are going, what the heck happened? You know?
Right.
You see,
I do, I'm just trying to think whether you're better to have that and not necessarily use a lot of enforcement, or whether it's worse not to have that at all.
well, the political realities of what happens are, you know, what's gonna happen eventually, okay?
And this board has the right, the opportunity to just say, no, we're not even gonna go down that path, we're not visiting.
And just rely on the state, the state.
I don't like that either.
I know.
Well, we need a
that's-
copy of what the state looks like for batteries. In other words, what is the,
State law that was just
yeah,
enacted.
what is the minimum standards? What does it say about decommissioning? What does it say about safety? What does it say? If we wanna bring in, I think we need that no matter what.
Right, you need to see that first
Yeah.
of all, before you decide.
And we may not understand, we may have to get Andy to explain it to us, I don't know. I just,
So what would you, what's your direction then? I mean, the state just passed it, so I don't know that there are a lot of details there yet, so like it wouldn't be, I
Well,
don't know
there
if they
has
have
to be
anything with the
something
AIM
written.
yet. But, right, there's,
I guess we could call up, Chapin's guy.
Yeah.
Say, we'd like a copy of that, or, I mean, it's gotta be in the code already.
Yeah.
It just flashed through my mind and I lost it. I don't know, guys, and I'm not gonna be here, so, I mean, it's,
You're gonna live here still.
yeah. It's just, I just know when you start down the path and you say we're restricting it, it's not gonna stay restricted.
I guess my reservation, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but my reservation is even if we went through the zoning process for battery storage and we had an ordinance in place, if the state supersedes what we do and it's kind of like the wind and the solar, it doesn't matter what we do because they get to override what we do, then why would we spend the taxpayers' dollars to go through attorneys and zoning and all of the things if the state already dictates what our handcuffs are?
Look at all the time and the energy we put into, in money into him, and then eventually it didn't matter. I mean, it just didn't matter.
We were able to control the decommissioning much better.
That's true.
That was the big thing for us. Other than that, we really weren't able to control much, but that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand why if we have to get zoned in order to have a battery or the ordinance, but doesn't the state already have something in place to govern some of that?
That's what we wanna see.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we need to
Well,
have, have the conversation.
Maybe they probably don't care about decommissioning either on that end.
well, and there is decommissioning, and that's in the AMA for wind and solar, and I imagine that's where it will reside for the other, which would be the standalone battery and the data center. But I don't know that they've gotten that far yet. And I don't know what they're doing with the data centers that they're building now. I have no knowledge.
All of them up north.
Springfield,
Springfield.
Is there one in Springfield?
they're talking now.
Like
Same in
Springfield.
Okay, you gotta, I mean, I don't see one being around here.
No, I do.
No, not
You
with
gotta have
current-
big water.
Right, not with the current technology. We're
Right,
not-
you gotta
we're
have a
not
little
in that
water
game.
around.
No.
Is Twin Lakes not enough water?
No, we're not drinking it anymore.
The only way it would be for us is be pulling it out of the Wabash, because that's, pipe's already here, and that sure wouldn't be a big enough pipe.
That is not a big enough, no. Not enough.
But standalone battery storage could be here.
Right. And I would want that controlled on the decommissioning side. Cause that could be a nightmare like the power or the munitions plant.
Well, we're all disappointed in where we're at.
Yeah.
What do you wanna get Andy in here to talk to us a little bit, or not?
Do we need to postpone him? Do we need to get Chapin's guy to send us the,
Doesn't
I should be able to pull that online, I think it's off the CCI.
Well, would
Andy
Andy be better selection actually than?
The only thing would be, did we really think we were all gonna read through it ahead of time? And would there be value in that?
I think we would, if he sent us the sections on decommissioning and safety,
What areas he thinks are gonna be the issues with battery storage mainly, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not talking the others.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we may have to make some changes to the other based upon what the governor signed.
Do you want me to keep with our tentative date of the 26th of this month, or did you want me to kick the can down the road? It's not urgent.
When you say 26, you were gonna try to set something up for that.
He and I had tentatively set the
Maybe
26th,
if
because
you could
that's,
have that to us before that meeting, and we could discuss it at that meeting and set up a time frame later if we had questions about it, potentially.
He may say, we don't know enough about it yet. It's not, there's not
It's
enough
gotta
out.
be in writing. I mean, if it passed and the governor signed it, it has to be in writing, Andy.
See if he can get us something prior to that meeting. We'll talk about it at our next study session, and then we can maybe set up a meeting after
Am
that.
I missing
I
something?
no, I don't know.
Well, the governor signed a bill
Yes.
that included all the stuff on the battery storage. It has to be codified. So that's what I wanna see, is what the governor signed,
Okay.
and what the rules are inside that. It's probably, 300 pages long?
Jeff, may I?
Yeah,
Why don't we reach out to UCCI, because they're,
they've already, yeah.
but maybe they already have what we're asking for.
I mean, the governor didn't sign something that didn't include anything.
And then they, seems to me that they
They
put
do
something
that,
out.
Usually, I mean, it goes right into the code books,
Okay.
unless they're gonna send it to, chart,
You got it? Okay.
you got it?
I'm reading it.
Okay, so it's there. All right. See, it had to be,
Oh.
in order for it to be written and signed into law.
Okay.
It wasn't like, what's-her-face does in Washington.
Well, that's why.
You gotta pass it in order
In
to,
order, I wondered
So
if
you could
that's
read
not
it.
like that.
no.
Okay.
So,
Now, JDAR may come in and do different rules on it
Okay.
eventually.
Okay.
so do you want to postpone until the 23rd of February, since that's a daytime meeting? Or do you want it the evening of the 9th?
I will not be here on the night. I have some stuff you're gonna have to bear with me. I'll go over it in a few minutes, but I'm not gonna be available on the night.
What do you think about the 23rd then?
Can we
So
just
we're-
review the material, and discuss it at the next meeting, at the next study session?
And just tell him I'll contact him later to schedule?
After the 26th.
Okay. All
Do you
right.
have a printer on that?
Take it next to my work.
And you can ask him what's the urgency? What urgency is there for us to, we got time to look at this and discuss it, or do we need to get something rolling pretty quick? Because I don't know how many, has anybody been approached to put any of that in around here that you know of?
Not a
Not
standalone
a
battery.
standalone.
No. What we've talked about is where they still wanna put a battery storage in with wind, but we're all right on that,
Okay.
okay? At least at this point.
All right.
Yeah, although I think we're gonna have to do a few tweaks on that as well.
Right.
Yeah, but in general, we're good.
So
Um,
we're gonna,
I'll just tell Andy we'll reschedule at a later time.
let's see what we've
You or I
got.
will get the information to everybody.
It really, if this is a voluminous deal, we really just wanna, well, not that you can send it all of us electronically, but we specifically wanna look at where we did the most good,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Next topic. Paris High School won't accept voter registration in their school. Let's just statement.
Wait,
Um,
what did you say?
That's what I was told. Paris High School won't accept doing voter registration in their school. Is that accurate? Do you
Well,
know?
that's the first I heard of it. I'm sorry, it
Who says that?
caught my attention.
That was discussed at the Republican committee meeting. They wouldn't allow any voter registration in their school. Might want to check on that. I'd hate to miss all those 18-year-olds.
Hmm.
At school, you need to teach them how to vote. Well, not how to vote, but to vote.
You have to be careful how you
But
Right.
do they, but you register to vote when you get a driver's license. So is it because
You can, right?
you can't?
They ask
They ask you,
They
out of
ask
your,
you?
yeah.
In fact, I went in there and I'm 76 and I renewed my license. They asked me if I was registered to vote because I could register to vote right then if I hadn't.
Employee or elected official department head meeting. We have this on the agenda for the 21st. We really don't have much of an agenda. And Augie, what are your thoughts? I will tell you what is on my working list for that. Ross was gonna talk about the website traffic report. And we were gonna just talk a little bit about looking at each of your sites to make sure that everything's there, and should you have more, are there some helpful links that you could put on? Handbook updates, I haven't heard anything, nor has Nancy. You know, there's some discussion about payroll and usage of the payroll system, but I don't think that that's something that we want to cover on the 21st. We've talked about purchasing efficiencies. And you know, Samantha, you had brought that up, but I don't know that that's a big, long conversation. Either it's, you know, 5 minutes and that's over. So, what are you thinking? I am not feeling it, frankly.
I'm not gonna be here that week. Not that it matters, I can still get your agenda.
He's not feeling it either.
I'm not feeling it either.
Okay.
You won't, and I don't have to address each of those things that you mentioned, but
Well, so if we don't have it then, our next one scheduled would be March or April.
Jeez,
I know last time they said they wanted them quarterly. To me, that's
that's not enough.
too far apart.
Well, we could reschedule it for February. It'd be February 18th. Do you want to tentatively reschedule it for February 18th?
sounds like a plan to me.
Alrighty.
Could I get a copy of a list of the meetings, and so that since I'm on that committee, I didn't know. what was
Well, there isn't one.
A list of the meetings that are scheduled.
meeting.
Well, it was quarterly, and then we
Yeah.
went to buying twice a month.
Every 2 months.
Every
and
2
then
months.
Yeah.
And so we just haven't put out a schedule, because it's sort of, what I want to say. It's not like the
Fluid,
county
fluid.
board where you have to publish the schedule
Okay.
for the
It's not an
year.
open meeting, but
What it is, and that we post it, but we don't know when we're gonna meet. So I think that's why we don't put out an annual schedule, because that's subject to change, and then if it, I don't know, I suppose if you don't wanna have a meeting, nobody shows up and you don't have a meeting. It's easier to schedule one in advance and put out the notice, like what we're gonna do here, instead of a full year. Lisa, would you agree with that or not?
That group that keeps kind of changing their mind about what they want.
Yeah. So,
And I selfishly schedule them the same day I'm already down here for the health department board meeting. So we will, Augie, will you send something out?
Sure will.
Thank you.
No, you said February 18th.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock, at the public,
Government Center.
yes.
All right, next thing on my list. We didn't really, broadband, and I was talking to Matt Jackson at the computer place today. We were chatting, and I was letting him know that round 3 on broadband expansion, they released the funds, and Champaign was included. And there was a big chunk in south central Illinois. Round 4 would be next. I don't know any details. And the map for round 4 shows southeastern Edgar County with fiber, and the state line area with fixed wireless. But we don't know any more than that. I have not gotten any further on asking schools and city about a tax meeting. Phil, did you?
He's not here now.
Oh, well, that won't help me then. Does anybody know if Phil communicated with the city about the solar project that's within the city limits that they have already done
I do not
all
know.
that? Okay. Looking at emails Augie had sent, forwarded. Jonathan Burns had sent Jeff, you and me, and I'll just share with this that I think I should just read it. I'm writing to bring an urgent public health matter to the attention of the Edgar County Board and to request the board's consideration of a local ordinance to protect our community. A dangerous synthetic opioid called 7-hydroxymethylgrenine, also known as 7-0H, is currently being sold legally in gas stations, convenience stores, and vape shops throughout Edgar County. They are marked as kratom extract, mood enhancers, or natural supplements, and he gives more information. Extremely dangerous. It's up to 30 times more potent than morphine. On July 29th, 2025, the FDA recommended classifying it as a Schedule I controlled substance, the same category as heroin and LSD, but apparently that didn't happen. Poison Control Center states exposures have gone from 330 a year in 2015 to over 1,800 a year by just mid-2025. While FDA made its recommendation, federal scheduling could take months. State law only prohibits sales to minors. Other Illinois communities have already taken action. In December 2025, Rockford passed a ban. East Peoria, Jerseyville, Alton, Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, blah, 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 have all enacted similar local ordinances. Of course, these are all communities. And he did attach a draft ordinance. So, he sent it to Jeff and me, so I don't know if he also sent it to the city. I would kind of think probably.
I think it's a good idea.
He sent something today, I don't know, Jeff, if you saw that, you and I.
Yeah, but I didn't read it, I'm
No,
sorry.
I think something had the number 70. I thought it was gonna be 708 board, but it's
It's
not.
70H,
H.
yes.
Yeah, and then he said that he had sent out a proposed resolution, but here is an updated version after all the attorneys have looked at it.
Oh, which would be so much better.
Yeah,
Okay, well then, we need to forward that to our attorney to have him just peruse it also, okay?
yeah, but the other thing that, what I'm not clear on, and I wanna get clear from him, he has the proposed resolution for the county, the city, villages, Chrisman, and I don't know what he's thinking, if he's expecting us to make sure that those get done, or us to send those to each of those municipalities. That's what I need to find out first.
If we passed it, would that be a case if we passed it, then it was countywide, or would that be if we passed it, it was outside of incorporated areas?
Unincorporated would be my guess, because he has one typed up for every municipality. I'm just thinking logistically how he wants to get that done, because
I would think he should handle it,
I would agree.
yes.
But he only sent it to Jeff, myself, and I don't know who the other person was. But it wasn't you, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was in the first one, okay.
So I can send that to you, Lisa.
It sounds like it needs to go to Phil,
Right.
and then we can, if you
Send
can,
it out to the board, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no problem, so we can
Yeah.
at least,
I'll send it out to everybody, and Phil will be on it, and we'll ask Phil to look it over, and
does anybody have any questions about it?
Are you aware of what it is? Is it
Kratom.
an issue?
Called kratom. It is an issue, it's a stimulant. Sometimes when you see people on the sidewalks acting erratically, that can be a side effect of the use of kratom if they bought it at a gas station, vape shop, etc.
Did you have a comment about it?
I saw the health department post about it, and I've been seeing it all over social media, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty nice. Very addictive.
Hey, you know, it's interesting, I went, after my 911 meeting, I went and got a coney dog at Dairy Queen and stopped right over here by the courthouse this afternoon. I sat there for 10 minutes or so. At least 6 different vehicles stopped and went in the vape shop. I don't know what they were getting, obviously, but I just thought, wow, that's a lot of traffic in 10 minutes. So,
There's a big, we've been asked as a health educator to develop a program that we're working with health department and some other folks on vaping to the school age folks, because that is becoming more prevalent than some of the other drugs around. And it's,
It needs to be a concerted effort, we don't leave any holes in there. And I don't know what is the classification, I don't remember in reading that. What was the classification on that?
on the 70H, on the kratom.
Yeah,
I don't know that it's been classified. It is a stimulant, has opioid-like effects.
okay,
It's not regulated at all by the FDA.
jeez.
I think they said there was, and I've already clicked off of it, I think they said that there's a regulation, state regulation, or it hasn't gone into effect yet.
But, I
Or
mean, what is-
classification, I should say, not regulation.
And it does provide for adjudication if you're found with it, or is it just a prohibitive deal and then the state's gonna have to come up with law enforcement rules on when it's violated?
Sounds like this building, there's nothing, is there?
There's nothing.
Because of it is largely unregulated, there is a lack of quality control, products contain contaminants, there's inconsistent concentration, and then added ingredients to it, making it difficult. It's difficult to test for, but there are no cases associated with overdose and death, especially when mixed with other substances.
I just wondered what the mechanism was to carry out the ordinance once we executed it. In other words, of course, I
We'll
don't know.
apologize for having to leave.
Well, if
Like,
we make
darn.
it, if we make it illegal, doesn't that give our county deputies, authority?
What I've questioned is if the city or none of the other communities act, if the unincorporated does our law or our ordinance that drift into those areas, if there's nobody done anything, I don't know.
You gotta get that to state's
Yeah,
attorney.
you gotta-
Well, I know,
just-
I'm just
I mean,
asking.
I'm just.
I'm guessing we just have the unincorporated areas.
Well-
City parish that have to do their own, or ours isn't gonna make any difference.
So if you've got one block that's in the city and one block that's outside of the city in the county, they can sell it, they can't. That's real good.
I'm guessing that's probably how it is, but obviously the state's attorney can tell us.
All right. Yeah, and he might be able to maybe promote this particular issue.
So you got copies of it, so you can get it to the state's attorney to take a look at? Is that what we wanna do?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll get you.
Yep.
So who enforces
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
that? Right.
What, is there a fine? Is there a?
Right, I'm like, is
We
that?
will have to read the ordinance. I'll go with that. We'll pass it and then we'll know what it says.
Okay.
She just doesn't
That's
know
what I was
it.
afraid of.
She went down in infamy for that stupid statement, didn't she?
What else?
And this just came through from UCCI. There's a Clean and Reliable Grid Affordability Act seminar in the afternoon on January 30th, which is a Friday in Springfield.
That's the bill that he signed, Clean and Affordable
Well,
Reliability Act.
there's the act, but yeah, then underneath all of that, yeah. So, and Hyle Royster will be doing it, which basically means Andy. So I guess at this point I can go.
What day is it?
Friday, January 30th. It's on your way to Petersburg, 'cause it's in Springfield.
It'd have to be on the way to Sanibel.
It's cheaper to send her than to have Andy come.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I will do that.
I would like to go, but no.
If somebody else wants to go along with me, I would welcome the company.
Yes.
And I
Road trip.
think,
You
Good for you,
could,
Dan.
you could take the
Dan, you could ride
the
it.
Impala.
I think that
Is
that
he a little iffy
is
in
it.
that car?
I don't know. Get a case of quartz and I think you're ready to go. I know we're on film, just kidding.
Okay, so, who wants to follow up with Phil on whether he had a conversation with the city on the decommissioning bond on the community solar? Okay, I will.
What was that, I guess, okay.
He'll be here Wednesday, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we just wait till Wednesday and we can just ask him. Or you can just ask him.
All right, I'm done. I'm so
He's
done.
very good about answering texts too. Okay, Phil is. Just text him, give him a heads up that you're gonna ask him. I would
Okay.
appreciate that.
Will do. All right.
If you hold out a phone and start scrolling down.
I just
Do you
have
have anything?
two things.
Okay.
Did we ever get anywhere with you getting set up with the Lexipol and the grant, emails, the notification?
We have not.
Do I check with Ross on that,
Well-
see if it's blocked in the firewall? 'Cause that lady said that she had sent that out.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen it. It could be.
Do you want me to rebump her email to you tomorrow and,
Do you mind?
no, I can.
Yeah.
And if I need to rebump Ross, I'll be done.
Yeah.
I rebumped him
Well-
tonight already.
He has things pretty tight. and,
Correct. I've
we-
noticed, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
okay.
have to,
Yeah, but she says that it was sent in that last email, which was well before the holidays. So I know there's, we've been organizing some things, but, was curious if it is getting caught in a firewall somewhere. And then the other thing, I had asked Philip and he said to stay on him, but we just need to, talk about some accountability in the opioid settlement fund. That is to be overseen by the state's attorney. He's got that fund, he has to,
If we don't touch it.
correct, but I got some folks breathing down my neck on what are we gonna do with that, because other counties have already implemented programs and such related to that. I believe it's,
$82,108.48. And it keeps growing.
yep. So he knows about it, he also knows that he's had a lot of other things on his plate, but he is the only one per statute that can oversee that fund.
And what can we do with it? I mean, like programs?
There's been some, money distributed to like, what's money? Sorry.
Ross?
State's attorney?
No,
Or,
what's money?
Probation.
Probation, to help them with some proactive, touch points, making sure that people are staying sober after, release from
Right.
incarceration. Some money has trickled out to like folks like Ross to implement some programs.
Okay.
Our house in Charleston got
Yeah.
some of the funds
Yeah.
to, put in some, counseling type of services. Yep, that's it, like that.
Carl?
911 meeting today, we talked about whether things are in place for the move from the old jail to the new jail. Taylor talked about AT&T's involved, Central Square, who does all the computer work, Supreme Radio, internet through Ross. All those people have to have things in place for it. She's gonna reach out to them and see about setting the meeting up so we can talk with all those people to coordinate everything. I'm trying to set up a meeting to talk about the combined dispatch. I've got some dates. I have to get with various different people. Tomorrow, on the core meeting
9 AM?
at 9 o'clock, but are we having another meeting at 11?
Nope.
Just 9 to go through the jail? and-
Yes, that is it.
So we're not talking about, there was talk about getting a meeting set up about furniture and blah, blah, blah
No, that's not set up yet. We'll talk about that with Michael.
tomorrow.
Is it 9 or 10? 'Cause I understood it to be a 10.
Yeah. We'll find out about that. That's all I have.
You thought it was 10.
At what point will it be time for another walkthrough?
Tomorrow?
I mean, if-
Anytime you want to.
Yeah.
Bring your boots and
Yeah, you can come in and talk with, meet with Shaggy and he'll take you right through
it'll
it.
give you a hard hat fast,
Hmm.
take you through and give you.
I thought the last one was helpful since I
Andy
haven't been
and
in
I
on
went
all
last
of that.
Tuesday.
I haven't been in for
There's a lot
several
of
months.
progress you did.
Yeah.
always had.
Okay, Michael and I will be meeting at 9 AM tomorrow morning in the construction trailer to conduct a site walk. I was not planning to have a traditional OAC meeting. Feel free to join us if you're available.
Is that cold?
That's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So you covered one of the things, let's see. I will not be at the meeting on Wednesday. Okay, so, I should be at the meeting on the 26th. Nothing major, gonna have, a little eye surgery, so. At any rate, cataracts. So. I don't have anything else done, and I met today and went through a lot of stuff. And we're gonna, probably won't get much reporting. You should get on Wednesday morning. He was gonna email you Don was gonna email you a cash flow page. so you should have that. But other than that, you're not gonna get anything until the 26th, okay? So, that's all I have at this point. Anything else that we need to discuss? Public comment. Is there any public comment? Jeremy, you back there staying awake, I've been watching. Anyway, well, thank you all. Motion to adjourn. Russ moves. Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. You will have a closed session by the way on Wednesday to deal with